Hey everybody. Little update out here in chilly Westwood. Just waiting here for the train after I guess what you could call our first big popcorn movie screening for 2024. And that is of course Argyle.
Do you know who the real Agent Argyle is? You've seen the trailers, you've seen the goofy stuff, and we're here to tell
Heck, we
you
got
that
some goofy stuff.
we got some free stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was not enough to
No.
sway our minds. This is
Uh
a weird one because the tone from the trailer made it seem like you were going to watch a goofy movie, but
it's I
it's
mean it's
actually
goofy, but
it's goofy, but not in the enjoyable sense. It
yeah.
does have lean into a more surreal, goofy tone for the first third, but then it becomes just like a standard direct to Amazon Prime action movie
I mean,
that,
it's kind of funny you say that because it is an Apple TV production in conjunction with Universal, and
well, you would have thought that Apple money would have made the movie look a little bit more polished than it did.
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's kind of strange. It's a 2 hour and 19-minute movie by Matthew Vaughn, who you some of you may recognize as the director of movies like Kickass, the Kingsman.
The three
Um,
Kingsman movies,
yeah,
even though the first one is just the best of the
exactly.
three by far.
Layer Cake.
Excellent crime drama. If no one has seen that, definitely go catch it. It's really fantastic.
Former protege of Guy Ritchie. And this one, it's okay. I'll put it this way. Let's just get into it. It started off okay. The first act, I was into it because I thought it was going to be a cheeky, funny movie about the relationship between a spy novelist and the real deal, and how you can write something very entertaining about a world you actually are not involved in. And Dallas Bryce Howard actually, for that character, fits in very well. And I
And
don't
she has
know.
a very
Yeah,
cute cat, which
Alfie.
Alfie, which based on all the promotional material in the trailers, you'd think would become one of the gimmicks of the movie, and sadly, it the cat does not. The cat disappears,
What
much like
is
Sylvester Stallone in Expendables 4.
well, and in the same way too, because like Sylvester in that movie, Alfie is completely CGI. Um,
Oh,
but but one thing I'll say about this movie, and of course we don't know how many you plan to go see it this weekend, but without spoiling too heavily, here's what brings the movie down. It starts off as a really good cheeky comedy, and then by the third act, it just becomes another throwaway action movie
not
that's
even
totally predictable. You know where it's going. I think you guessed the main twist
okay.
halfway
Yeah,
through the movie.
less than halfway. So
Yeah.
no, you're giving it too much
Uh,
credit, which is the sad thing. It wasn't even halfway. It was about a third of the way
yeah.
when the tone changed. And yeah, all the promotional material. Who is Agent Argyle? They make it really obvious. And sometimes okay, a good twist is great, and sometimes setup and payoff being obvious is a good thing,
Yeah.
right? If it's done in a satisfactory way, but they present it like a big reveal, which by the time it happened, I was like, oh, okay, so now the movie's going to be completely flat.
Yeah, and that's the best way to describe it. It really becomes just another flat action movie.
Where action is done for its own sake, which look, it looks well choreographed, but it's like I'm just not. I don't care,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it's
care. I
too
just want it to be
long.
over.
It's too long. It drags on. There's a romance that develops with zero chemistry. Like there's zero reason for these characters to even be together. Um,
Well, there's one reason, because the script said so.
yes, exactly. And again, it's so predictable. It's in there. It's only in there because it's what's supposed to be in this movie, right? It's not even trying to be original. Dallas, you know what's kind of weird about Dallas Howard? She's good in the beginning, and then in the third act, she's totally out of place in this movie. It's really weird. And when you go see the movie, you'll see what we mean.
If you do see it, I would
You do
say
see, yeah,
it's more like wait for it to be on streaming
yeah.
because it is definitely the streaming type of movie. I would say, I mean, before we talk more about how bizarre it is. There's so many great films to catch up on from 2023, especially foreign films. Please go watch those
Stream
instead.
Society of the Snow on Netflix.
Excellent
Yeah.
film. Watch Los Colonos, The Promised Land, a Danish film is coming out. Go watch those
Go
instead.
see those. Go see The
Th-
Promised Land this Friday. Excellent movie from Denmark. A really excellent historical drama. Don't go give 20 to 30 bucks
for
a
this
pop to
experience with a
this.
lame with a lame end credit scene, which is also trying to be play into the goofy tone, but no one in the audience knew how to read it because the rest of the film just became
You know what
more of
the
a straight action
you
movie.
you know the problem with the bonus scene, what makes it worse is that every action movie now, doesn't matter what studio, doesn't matter what franchise, they're all trying to be Marvel, right? So they all give you that bonus scene at the end. This one does that in a way where part of you, okay, it's twice disappointing. One, because it's not funny. Two, because you're terrified of whether the director is being serious, in the sense of, come on, you're not taking it there now, right? Like, this is not going to become another universe building attempt, right? Please, Matt, stop. Just
You're
stop, man.
talented. I
Yeah,
liked Kick-Ass 1. I really
yeah.
liked the first Kingsman. The Kingsman I hated except for two excellent scenes,
It
one
still had
with
memorable moments.
Rasputin
Yeah.
and one in No Man's Land. But this doesn't really have those moments, sadly. The moments that
No,
it
there's the
purports
choo-choo.
to be, its action set pieces that purports to be the memorable scenes of the movie, do fall flat.
Yeah,
The
that.
best moments are with Sam Rockwell, who is used pretty well in that first third of the movie.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Again, I don't want to spoil, but the way Rockwell and Howard are paired at the beginning is excellent and funny. Then the way they're paired by the third act completely just bombs. There's no other way to put it. The way the characters, the way their dynamic switches is actually detrimental to the whole movie. Um, and yeah, it's kind of weird. Vaughn was a protege of Guy Ritchie. This one, we said this on the way over from the theater, kind of felt like a bad Guy Ritchie ripoff. Like when you're trying to do what your mentor was doing, but you don't really know how to pull that off.
No, same with all
Yeah.
these like John Wick clones.
Yes.
There was a
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
called The
Yeah.
Old Guard, which I absolutely hated with a passion. It's like this is so clear it's trying to be John Wick.
Was that the Charlize Theron
Yeah,
thing? Oh
I
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
hated
yeah, yeah.
it,
That was a terrible
and it's
movie. Yeah.
like, look, you either have the talent and the vision for something, or just like dial it back a little bit.
You know what? Yeah, Vaughn is such a talented director. Something tells me there's a more personal, lower budget movie in the guy. Kind of like, even, and this is obviously not what we usually mean by art house, but almost like another Kick-Ass, right? Like, there's almost like another Kick-Ass or Layer Cake waiting inside the guy
I was gonna
to come
say
out.
I was
You
gonna
know?
say Layer Cake. Go make dramas.
Yeah,
Layer Cake is a fantastic drama. I believe it's also based on a book that uses the crime world to deal with kind of the cyclical nature of bureaucracy,
yeah,
right? That the way that you move up the ladder as a way to change things ultimately leads you to just being at the top of that same system you're trying to change.
yeah,
It's a similar type theme to Snowpiercer, but executed very differently. Great performances from Daniel Craig, Michael Gambon, who I believe passed away.
yeah.
Just a fantastic movie. He needs to stop making basically the Kingsman again.
Eh,
He's done this 4 times in a row now. Please stop and just dial it back.
It
Dial
happens.
it back.
It happens. There's some directors that just get too caught up in the rush to make another quote unquote blockbuster, and they kind of just have to come back around to their to their roots or to what is genuinely them. A lot of big directors have done it, from Spielberg to Scorsese.
Peter Jackson
Peter
too.
Jackson, yeah,
After The
um,
Hobbit, he used his powers for good with They Shall Not Grow Old
and the Beatles
and the
one, that
Beatles
yeah,
and the
so
Beatles one. It happens. Paul Schrader.
Paul Schrader too, yeah, he did a bunch of for good or ill, crime movies, weird experimental dramas, and then he's like, no, you know what, I'm going back to my more, what's really me, and he did that. He just finished that trilogy with First Reform, The Card Counter, and
Master
the Master
Gardener.
Gardener. So maybe Vaughn needs to do that too. He needs to just take some time, lock himself away, sit down in front of the keyboard, and just genuinely write what's genuinely him. But yeah, this was
Very odd.
very odd, disappointing film, I gotta say. Yeah. No,
Not
no.
not one to hate over. It's just an odd film, and like we said,
And
it's
I,
not worth the price of seeing it in the theater. Just it's okay.
yeah,
It's okay, guys. It's okay to not. You don't need to frivolously spend your money
exactly.
on new releases when you can catch up on, well, still new releases at other theaters. We're not even talking about like obscure art house theaters. Like there are plenty of Lemleys and um, Alamo Drafthouse theaters around Los Angeles where you can catch great flicks.
Basically, your homework is stream Society of the Snow at home on Netflix, and go catch Promised Land this weekend at a good art house
Or the Teacher's
theater.
Lounge if that's still around.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
Bye Bye Tiberius.
Or Los Colonos.
Or Los. You see, we just gave you
Yeah,
four
four
things.
four really good things to check out.
You see, Society of the Snow should be in an IMAX screen
Yeah,
in a big theater with a wide release, not Argylle.
no,
Argylle, look, we would be more whatever if we were like, this is only getting a streaming release, because then we'd say this feels perfectly suited for where it is. But clearly they're putting a big budget. They've had trailers for this movie for, I don't know, months now. They gave us t-shirts and a specially designed playing card. So clearly they had budget for this, but I don't know. I
I,
don't know how to.
yeah, it's well, it's I think they're taking advantage of the fact that it's a slow week, and they figure this will be the big opener for this weekend. Those of you who follow the box office know Mean Girls has been number one pretty much for the last 3 weeks, because it's been a very, very kind of sparse season until things supposedly kind of pick up again in February. By how much, I don't know, because it's not like it's not like a lot of the stuff coming out next month is also that crazy. But we are also living through the aftershocks of the strikes, so a lot of stuff is delayed and pushed back. But yeah, so Argyle, uh, you can probably hear in our voices, this movie left us tired, but in the wrong way. Um, so just skippity skip, poor Mr. Cavill.
Just skip on by, Mr. Cavill.
He is not
Ask
Superman.
your agent, give him an ultimatum. You either tell him, find me good roles, or just fire him. Like, my man, like, I know people liked you as Superman, but this is too much.
Yeah,
I've
just
seen you
well,
do some pretty good, charming performances. That Stop doing this. You've made good money.
go back to the Tutors, man. You got to do another the
Remember when you were
Tutors.
in
Yeah,
Stardust?
remember when you were? Yeah, remember the who you once were. Become that man again. Well, everybody, that was our commentary on Argyle, and it's gonna be
I
a.
think we're being beeped out of
Are
here,
we being bipped out of
so
here? Okay, well, everybody,
we
we'll catch up with you soon.
peace. Bye.